This is going to be a long one. So here's my TLDR summary. Wife of 26 years cheated and for the 2 years has been trying to reconcile and refusing to divorce me. I hope I did the TLDR right. Hi. I understand that we're not allowed to give out names, but I'm guessing maybe full names. I read a lot of posts to try to get the gist of them, but I can't write like them, so vague and to the point. I don't know. I'll try my best. My name is Hector and I'm 47 years old, Puerto Rican. I think the abbreviation is STB, ex-wife Debbie, and I was married for 26 years. We were together for 30. We have gotten married in our senior year in high school when she got pregnant with our firstborn. I was lucky enough to get a job at UPS right after graduation. We struggled in the beginning. She's from a traditional Irish family and they hated me at first. But I won them over. Especially her father. I made sure she didn't have to work. By the time we were 27 years old, we had 5 kids. 4 girls and a boy. I was just fortunate that the boy came out first. We had our arguments over money, discipline methods, and me complaining about the lack of time. I understood, we have 5 children and they can be very exhausting. I tried to help as much as I could, but she was still tired. However, she was my everything. She always kept her body in shape. I try as well, but being a delivery driver for a very long time, I'm what they called skinny fat. I have a muscular chest, arms, legs, but I have a sloppy gut. I got the horseshoe hairline that caused me to shave it off. Yet, Debbie was my everything. There were times she was verbally abusive towards me, and whenever I had enough and lashed back, she became a cry bully and I just gave up. As the years went by, we were the only married couple in our friend group. Every last one of them got divorced. Out of our 7 married couple friends, 5 were caused by infidelity on the wife's part, 1 was on the husband's part, and the last one they divorced because she friend-zoned her husband. I was against my wife hanging out with her newly single friends. However, that would just start a massive argument about me controlling her, keeping her as a prisoner, and my personal living time doll. All of that caught me by surprise. The more she hung out with them, the more resentful she became. The kids took notice. I remembered my son and 2 of my daughters arguing with her when I came home, and as much as I understood their frustration, I scolded my kids for yelling at their mother, and when they left the room, I confirmed their issue and she told me that we see her as a slave. I asked her where this was coming from, but she said forget it, shut down, and walked away. I remember D-Day so vividly. Debbie was out with her friends. I was in the kitchen cooking, the kids were watching Train to Busan, and my 3 oldest came to the kitchen. I thought they came to check on the food, but they all had a concerned look. Before I asked what was the issue, my son told me that they think their mother was having an affair. Of course, at first, I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. I yelled at them and I told them I was going to prove they were wrong. I turned on the Where's My iPhone app and saw that she was at a bar on the outskirts of town. I hopped in my truck and I went. When I arrived at the bar, it was crowded, but I saw her circle of friends in the corner booth acting like drunk idiots. When I approached them, they all turned pale and that unsettling feeling hit my stomach. Since I didn't see her in the bar, I went outside and walked around the parking lot. There was a car in the back corner. It looked like the man in the driver's side was sleeping. A man who I thought was my friend. I approached the car to ask him if he has seen my wife, but when I got closer, it was obvious that he was getting a BJ, and the closer I got, the more I recognized the woman in the car. I was practically standing by the driver's side window and none of them noticed me. I lost my temper. I broke the window, dragged him out, and I wasn't civil. Debbie was screaming sorry over and over. I was yelling at her while kicking him. Cops showed up soon after that and I was arrested for assault and battery. I spent a week and a half in county. I had to go into the infirmary because I thought I was having a heart attack, but it turned out I was suffering from broken heart syndrome. The news of what I did spread like wildfire. Eventually my father-in-law bailed out. The man was practically in tears when I stepped through those gates. He profusely apologizes to me for his daughter's actions. During the drive home, he told me he spoke to my manager and union rep about the situation so I can still keep my job. He said that the kids has been staying with him and Debbie was waiting for me in the house. He said he knows what was going to happen, which was why he brought the truck. He was right. When we got to the house, Debbie ran to me crying and tried to hug me, but shoved her so hard that she fell to the ground. She looked at me with shock. I told her to get her shit out of my house and I want a divorce. She tried to fight it, but her father convinced her otherwise. An hour after they left, my mother-in-law came with the kids and I hugged them all for dear life. She apologizes for her daughter's actions as well before leaving. Now in my state, there's mandatory couples counseling before granting the divorce. Which in my opinion is complete BS. I don't understand why I have to go to counseling if she cheated. At the beginning of the sessions, I just sat there, listening to her dribble. That is exactly what it was, dribble. Blame shifting on the fact we were young parents and she never experienced the wild lifestyle, the freedom, and she got carried away. She got lost in it and her friends encouraged it. Soon she felt like she was missing something and she started a fling. The counselor tried on a few times to make it my fault, telling me that I should have allowed her to spread her wings every once in a while and how I needed to see it from her point of view. I just looked at the woman and asked the counselor if she was smoking crack, because that was the dumbest thing that could have come out of her mouth. I asked Debbie how long she was cheating on me with him and she said 4 months and insisted that he was the only one. But it was a mistake and we could get past this because we have history. So I asked her more questions. Who initiated the time, you or him? How many times did you go down on him? Did you swallow? Did he do you raw? Did he come in you? Did they fall asleep together? Through her stream of tears, she answered them honestly and I was quiet for a long while. The counselor tried talking to me twice during this and I raised my finger. I thought about everything we did before and during her affair window. The laughter, the conversations, the time. Everything, and there was no inkling of her being sad or angry. We were just being us. When I finally did speak, I brought up the times we had time during that window. I called her a WHRE. The counselor tried to correct me and I told her to shut up as I continued to call her every name in the book. Eventually, I told her she was tainted in my eyes. Again, the counselor and Debbie tried to convince me that our history and relationship can get past this mistake and I didn't want to hear it anymore. It was like they didn't care about my feelings on the matter. It was just about forgiving her and what I can do to get over it and apologize to her for making her feel like a servant. So I walked out. This contested divorce has been a long uphill battle for the past 2 years. Debbie is still trying to make things right. Still trying to get us back together. I don't know why, because our conversations are strictly about the kids, and when she tried to talk to me about something else I hang up on her. Family gatherings are consisted of me avoiding her or not showing up at all. Our oldest children refuse to talk to her. I tried to make them spend time with their mom, but they refuse and I have chosen to respect that. My in-laws are at my house weekly and I know they have been trying to make their daughter give me my divorce, but that has been a bust. My mother-in-law has been especially harsh on her, calling her a dumb brat, gossiping about her to her congregation. I had to ask her to stop because I didn't want the whole town to know our business. During the first year, my son and daughter created a Tinder account for me. I thought it was dumb. I'm a middle-aged man with 5 children who has a dad bod. Yet I have been on over a dozen very successful dates that have been a real confidence booster. Recently I met someone during my court issue community service. Her name is Isabel and she was our Habitat for Humanity supervisor. She's drop-dead gorgeous and won first place for a Vanessa Marcel look-alike contest at a soap opera convention she and her daughter attended. That's how we started talking. My daughters love watching General Hospital and I sat with them. To me, this is one of the few times I get to spend with them. I introduced her to kids 6 months in and they instantly took a shine to her. To make things really awkward, my son and her daughter appear to really like each other. However, Debbie is not letting go. She actually told our youngest 2 children that eventually, we will get back together. I had to tell her to stop telling them this. Her father is trying to make her go see a therapist, but I just want this over already. I don't regret my years with Debbie. I have 5 wonderful kids with her. I man up and build a life for her. My only regret is that she ruined 26 years together on a fling. I regret that she thought she had me in a way that I was just going to let it slide and take her back. However, I do hate her. When I run into her old group of friends around town, I openly call them WHREs and homewreckers instead of their names. That love and respect that I had for her disappeared when I caught her in that car. She will always be the mother of my children and nothing else. I just hope that she can come to terms with that. Thanks you for watching Everyday New Movies. See you soon.